Ladies and gentlemen of the internet, strangers from all around the world, I have an announcement to make. I have saved my first $100,000. And for all you trolls out there calling BS saying I'm making it up to get the clicks, read it and weep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 figures. But it is pretty wild to see $100,000 in my bank account. One, because that is a lot of money, but also because I haven't really even made that much money in my life. I mean, it took me 4 years to go from zero to $100,000. And in 2020, I made $26,000. In 2021, I made $52,000. In 2022, I made $55,000. And in 2023, I made $43,000. I was able to save $100,000 in 4 years off salaries that aren't exceptional. I mean, by many people's standards, those are actually pretty low salaries. And I think that that is a testament that it's not about how much you make, but it's about what you do with the money that matters. And so in this video, I want to share 10 things that helped me save $100,000 off of incomes that are not that exceptional. And the first thing that helped me was make a low income for a very long time. Now, this sounds very counterintuitive, but probably the biggest thing that helped me reach $100,000 was making a very low income for a very long period of time. I mean, between the ages of 16 to 23, I never made more than $9 an hour. Then from ages 23 to 26, I was volunteering in Ecuador and made $600 a month. And it wasn't until age 27 that I had my first adult salary of $48,000. Making a low income before I started to make a high income was so beneficial on my journey to $100,000 because it taught me important skills like seeing the value of a dollar, knowing how to stretch a dollar, and how to create a budget. It's so beneficial to learn these skills on a low income because once you start making a higher income, saving is so easy. If you learn these important money skills on a low income, once you start making a higher income, you're going to save a lot quicker than people who have never made a low income before. Now, the second thing that helped me was making good decisions at an early age. One thing I've noticed is that a huge factor that holds people back or helps people get ahead financially are the decisions they make between the ages 20 and 30. And sadly, many people make bad financial decisions in this decade, like taking on a bunch of student loan debt, taking on a bunch of consumer debt, and developing bad financial habits. And because they made these bad financial decisions at an early age, they have to spend years trying to fix them rather than focusing on their financial goals. But one thing that helped me reach $100,000 was making good financial decisions at an early age, like going to college without taking on student loans, never taking on consumer debt, and developing good financial habits. Because I made these good decisions early on, I haven't been burdened by past decisions and could prioritize reaching financial goals, which has allowed me to reach them much quicker. If you make good decisions early on, you don't burden your future self with a bunch of financial obligations and getting ahead becomes much easier. Now, making good decisions is also about taking preventative steps to make sure you cover your bases in case something bad happens, which brings me to the sponsor of today's video, Aura. In the modern world, one of the best decisions that you can make is to protect yourself in this internet age we're in, because the odds of falling victim to an online crime are 1 in 4. Which sounds crazy, but if you do a quick Google search of your name, the information you'll find on yourself is scary. Your full name, phone number, health record, and so many other things. Data brokers will collect your information and sell it to various people who want to target you, including hackers, and then use that information to access your social media accounts, bank accounts, and other sensitive information. But luckily, data brokers are required by law to remove your information when requested, but they make it very hard to do, which is why you should let Aura do the hard work for you. Aura can identify data brokers exposing your information. It submit opt-out requests on your behalf. And upon creating my own account, Aura found and removed my name from 16 of those lists. But this is not all Aura does to protect you. Aura is an all-in-one tool that monitors your credit score, gives you antivirus protection, a VPN to browse the internet securely, password management, parental controls, identity theft insurance, and more, all for one affordable price. If you're like me and want to protect yourself in this internet age, click on the link in my description or go to aura.com/AustinWilliams to get a 2-week free trial to test out this amazing tool. And in 2024, it is crucial to protect your privacy, and so let Aura do all the hard work for you. And thank you, Aura, for sponsoring this video. Now, the third thing that helped me reach $100,000 was saving all extra money. So as I explained, I saved $100,000 in the past 4 years, and the most I ever made in a year was $55,000. However, there were 2 things that happened in 2020 that catapulted me on my journey to reach $100,000. And the first thing was that I finished my service working for the US government organization, the Peace Corps in Ecuador. And when you finish the Peace Corps, to readjust back into American life, they give you something called a readjustment allowance of $10,000. And the second thing was COVID, where just like many other people, I received about $5,000 in pandemic aid. And I saved all that extra money, which allowed me to go from about $5,000 to $20,000 in the span of months. And that really catapulted me on my journey to reach $100,000. And I think that no matter who you are, there are moments in life when you receive extra money, like getting a bonus from your job, pandemic money, or inheritance. And if you act as if you never got that money and save it, you can boost your savings a lot quicker. Now, the fourth thing that helped me was creating a savings plan. So the first adult job with an adult salary that I ever had was $48,000. And when I started to make that, I felt so rich because I had never made anything close to that before. And the second I got that salary, I immediately wanted to start saving more money. And so I sat down to create a savings plan. And I listed all my expenses, subtracted that from my income, and determined how much I could save. And with a salary of $48,000, I determined that I could save about $500 a paycheck. And so every paycheck I received, I immediately took out $500 and put that in either a savings or investment account. And I did that consistently as I was making that salary, which allowed me to save a lot of money. Now, the fifth thing that helped me was being frugal. Now, to many people's standards, a salary of $48,000 is not tons of money, and saving $500 a paycheck doesn't sound realistic. However, a reason I was able to save that much was because, as I said before, I made good decisions early on and didn't have any financial burdens. But it was also because I lived a very frugal life, where my expenses were very low. I mean, I didn't have a car payment. My rent was $600 a month, and where I lived, most of the activities involved being outside, which were free. And because I lived so frugally, I was able to save more than the average person because my expenses were so low, and it helped me boost my savings a lot quicker. Now, the sixth thing that helped me was taking advantage of free money. So if I broke down that $100,000, it would be about $20,000 of savings, $45,000 in my brokerage, $15,000 in my Roth IRA, and $20,000 in my 401k. And I worked extremely hard to save this $80,000, but this $20,000 was basically free money. And the reason I would call that free money is because I really didn't have to put in that much effort to receive it. At my past job, I had this crazy 401k match where if I put in 2% of my salary, my employer would contribute 10%. Which is really just unheard of. And 2% on my end is really not that much. And I'm getting so much in return. And that has ultimately grown to over $20,000. And if you work for an employer with a 401k match, you should take advantage of it because that is basically free money. Now, the next thing that helped me was be more aggressive as income increases. So as I said before, at my first adult job, I made a salary of $48,000. Which I thought was an insane amount of money. But eventually I just got this ridiculous raise where I went from $48,000 to $72,000. And I couldn't believe that when it happened because that's a 50% increase. Just unheard of. And once that happened, I decided to take that 50% raise and save 100% of it. And I went from saving about $1,000 a month to saving $2,500 a month. And then my savings started to increase a lot quicker. Now, getting a raise that large is not a common thing, but when you do get a raise in life, you should save more of your money. Your savings should increase as your income increases instead of just your spending increasing. Now, the 8th thing that helped me was seeing and seizing opportunity. Now, I want to say another thing regarding that raise that I received. As I said, I went from $48,000 a year to $72,000 a year. And I'll be honest, the reason I received that raise was not because I was this outstanding employee, but I was just at the right place at the right time. It was during COVID, and a lot of just crazy things happened during that period of time. But as I said, I decided to save 100% of that raise. And the reason I made such a drastic decision was because I was on a contract job and I knew that once that contract had ended, I would definitely be making less money. I wasn't naive. I knew I was being highly overpaid. And I saw that as an opportunity, this very unique opportunity to bank a lot of money in a short amount of time. Whereas I think that many people, if that were to happen to them, they would have gotten the raise, increased their quality of life. And once their contract ended, they would have high expenses with no savings. Whenever these opportunities come in life, like they did with me, it's important to recognize the opportunities and seize them because these unique opportunities in life can change your life and make you increase your savings a lot quicker. I could say so much about that situation. I wouldn't be here on YouTube doing this full time if it weren't for that very unique opportunity. But seize the opportunities whenever they come in your life because they don't come often. Now, the 9th thing that helped me was investing. So as I said earlier, this is the breakdown of my $100,000. And so you'll see that 20% is in cash for emergencies and 80% is in investments to grow. And for me, $20,000 makes me feel safe and comfortable. I am used to living on the edge, ladies and gentlemen. But that $80,000 of investments consist of $64,000 of principal and $16,000 of interest. I've gained $16,000 simply by having my money sent in the market in low-cost S&P 500 index funds. And if you want to save $100,000 or if you want to build wealth, you're not going to do it just by putting money in a savings account, but you have to invest some money in the market. You have to get that money to work for you. And one thing you notice as you start to build your investments over time is that they start to grow at a much quicker pace. However, it's important to remember that investments are a risk and will fluctuate and go up and down over time. However, if you buy and hold for the long term, the stock market is proven to go up over time. Investing is a great way to get your money to work for you and help you speed up the process to reach $100,000. Now, the final thing that helped me was looking at my own situation and making it work. So that is how I was able to save $100,000 in 4 years. And I recognize that part of my story consists of unfair saving advantages, unique moments in life, and lucky breaks. And there are things that you might not be able to do in your own life. However, there are 8.1 billion people in this world, and no two journeys of life are the same. We're all living lives with completely different circumstances. And so nobody's journey to $100,000 is going to be the same. Some things I said might work for you while others might not. In order to save $100,000, you have to look at your own life situation, decide what you can do, and make it work. I believe that anybody could save $100,000. It just might take a little bit longer than 4 years. But when you look at your own life situation and focus on making decisions that can work in your own life, you will eventually reach $100,000. And with that, muchas gracias, que tengan un buen día. Thanks Aurora for sponsoring this video. Nos vemos, chicos.